Hey everybody, welcome to the Stock Car Spectacle. I'm Ian Jortson.
I'm virtual Mike Gamble on Zoom.
And I'm Nick Kinzel.
And guys, we have a packed episode to go over.
Wait, did something happen that we have to talk about? I don't really.
Pretty boring race.
Yeah, kind of a boring weekend at Las Vegas as it usually is. So,
Well, that's kind of why I decided to do Zoom. I'm like, I'm not driving to Ian's house to talk about nothing. Fuck that.
and we'll get into all that. We start off our show with our diecast of the week. Mike, what you got for us, buddy?
All right, to foreshadow to soon coming events, debate, controversy, what have you. I'm standing in solidarity with my boy Bubba Wallace, and I'm gonna piss off a bunch of people and play the Black Lives Matter 43 car. I'm with my boy, and I'm playing this for one reason and one reason only. Whatever your take happens to be on the Bubba Wallace, Kyle Larson controversy, which we will talk about. Don't you worry. I promise. I got some real strong opinions on the matter. A lot of freaking idiots on the internet talking about black this, white that, Bubba this, thug that, this, that, whatever. And I don't care what you think about what's going on the racetrack, who's right, who's wrong. This shit has no place in NASCAR. It's rearing its ugly head once again, and I'm not going to stand for it. So I'm standing with my boy Bubba on that front and playing the Black Lives Matters car.
All right.
Well said. I got the holler out here too. So,
my man.
All right, Nico, what you got, buddy?
Well, first of all, I don't even remember the last time I've been on a show. It's been a while.
Been a few years.
The good news for you is all your diecasts are fresh then.
Yeah, this one's very fresh. This is the freshest one in my collection. This finally showed up. This was my dad got this for me, pre-ordered it for me for Christmas last year. Showed up a couple weeks ago. It is the 2021 Daniel Hemrick Phoenix race winner, championship winner. You can see this right side of the car is all banged up from when he was beating and banging with Austin Cindric coming to the line. That was probably that was a hell of a night for me. I did a lot of celebrating that night.
Did a lot of FaceTime.
Might have had some alcohols, but yeah, kind of Poppy Bang scheme. Daniel Hemrick finally won himself a NASCAR race, and what better race to do than to win yourself a championship? I'm glad that they made this one, and yeah, this car brings back a lot of memories from that night. I had a good time.
Hell yeah.
Can we just take a second to appreciate the fact that this man just played a Christmas present car for the first time on our show in October?
Yeah. Right?
That's the beauty of pre-ordering. You pre-order it in November, and there you go. A year later, it's here.
Yeah. What's also rare with Nick is him having a race win diecast. Man, you don't get many of those.
Got a point.
Welcome back, Nick. We torched you.
I got 3 Trevor Bayne race win diecasts and this one. So
Yeah,
4. 4. It's a hell of a collection, I'd say so. But yeah, nothing beats this one.
That's a beauty right there.
Championship scheme, and that was just brings back memories of a drunken night in Morgantown in my dorm room.
Did you sing "We Are the Champions" once or twice that day?
Once or twice that morning because it was 4 a.m. I'm here blasting "We Are the Champions," drinking a natty light. I counted the next morning. There was before the race or during the race I only had like 4 of them, and then I wake up the next morning and I see 18 beer cans on my floor. And I was like, how am I still in roll school? How did I not get in trouble? Because I was loud as shit. You guys heard the screaming.
Oh, yeah.
It just begs the question though: who had the better performance that night, Daniel Hemrick or Nick Kinzel?
Yeah.
Man, I put them down that night. This man said a swear word on TV and said, "Excuse my language," and I was just pounding beers all night.
You said, "Excuse my behavior."
Careful, I didn't get kicked out of school right then and there. But yep, this scheme, this race win right here, that'll bring back a lot of good times from out there.
Yeah.
It's a rough morning, but it was worth it.
Absolutely. All right, so for my diecast of the week, we got another championship diecast. I had to bust out Kurt Busch's 2004 championship race diecast, the good old black and gold Sharpie car. I had to bust out Kurt Busch because it just announced that he's not going to be running full time starting next season. So, it's pretty much the farewell tour for my boy Kurt Busch. Sucks to see him go, but he had a hell of a career and you got to do what's best for your brain. So, bringing out this beauty, lost his tire going down pit road, almost screwed up his championship hopes. One hell of a year for Kurt Busch.
The 97 Sharpie car, OG sexiness right there, man. It don't get much better than that one.
Oh, fucking iconic. All right, guys. So now let's get into Vegas. We started off. Actually, before we get into Vegas, we had some top news coming out. I just said it. Kurt Busch is not going to be running full time next year, 2023. Basically saying he's just going to be running maybe a couple races if he gets the all clear and pretty much done full time racing. So then that means Tyler Reddick, he's moving up a year early to 2311, taking that 45 ride. So awesome to see that for Tyler Reddick because we knew if he was staying with RCR for one more year, he was going to be in a shit box with Kyle Busch coming over. So this works out perfectly. Tyler Reddick, Bubba Wallace are going to be teammates. Those guys already like each other a whole lot. So I think that team's just going to get better and better. Tyler Reddick, hell, you can call him a real championship favorite next year, I'd say.
Yeah, I think the performance we've seen from both the 2311 cars this year gives Tyler Reddick a lot to be excited about. It gives 2311 fans a lot to be excited about to see Tyler Reddick in one of those cars after what he's done in RCR equipment this year. It sucks for Kurt. What I really, really wanted to see happen was him to come back with that press conference to say next year is going to be his last year, that he was going to sit out the rest of this year, get his brain right, get his body right, and then, run next year and that be like his final farewell tour. I feel like he's earned that. And it sucks he can't do that. It is cool. He's going to try to run on a part-time basis, as he kind of wants to, and the team will allow him, so on and so forth. So we are going to see him on somewhat of a farewell tour next year. But I just really want to see him have one more full year after this.
Yeah, it sucks that he doesn't get to go out the way that he wanted to go out. It sucks that it's these crappy ass parts on these next gens and the safety is just not there. We should not be having this. We've had four drivers miss races this season due to injury coming from that car. It's just unacceptable from where we were with the last car. The last car, I had a lot of people commenting on my posts earlier when I said that the next gen cost Kurt Busch's career, and people were saying, well, it's happening in the old cars, it's happening in the old cars. I mean, it happened to Dale Earnhardt Jr., and that was about it. I come back to this point. This is the first time in decades that 4 drivers in the Cup Series have missed a race this season due to injury caused inside the race car. Mm-hmm. That's unacceptable. But can't say enough about Kurt Busch. So he made every organization, every racing he went to, he made them better in some way. Oh, yeah. When he went to Furniture Row to drive the 78 car, this was after who knew? Nobody knew. After he lost his ride with Penske,
he went to Phoenix Racing.
Phoenix Racing, had probably the worst time of his life driving that 51 car.
He hated his life.
And then he goes over to Furniture Row and he gets that 78 seat warmed up for Martin Truex Jr., who eventually won a championship in that car.
Yep.
Came over to Stewart Haas Racing, won some races over there, won his first Daytona 500 there, did some good things there. And he came over here to 2311 and almost instantly made that organization better. So
I mean,
and then you can't forget about Chip Ganassi Racing either. He came over to that one car and he did the same thing. This is just the kind of guy Kurt Busch is. He's gonna step into your ride. He's gonna give you a fair assessment of where you're at, and then you're gonna build on it and go from there.
Yeah. My only thing as a big lifelong Kurt Busch fan is I don't want to see him run one more full-time season because I think it's just gonna be way too much for him. I just want to see him do.
He wants to do his bucket list races.
Just do your bucket list races. Do one more race so we know that it's your last race. It just sucks. The last time we saw him on track was practice at Pocono. So that's not the way that we need to see Kurt Busch go. We need to see him go out and have fun and be happy. So one more time on track when he's ready to go.
Also, if we're talking bucket list races, dude needs to run the Indy 500 again.
Yeah. He did
That would be
really
dope.
well the first time. So
Yeah, he did.
can you imagine? Because
So
Kyle Busch, they're talking about maybe bringing it.
Busch.
Can you imagine Kurt and Kyle Busch both running the same Indy 500? That would be fucking phenomenal.
that would be, and they're both there at the end. That would be awesome.
Yeah,
That would be awesome.
that would be freaking cool. But yeah, so sucks for Kurt Busch, cool for Tyler Reddick. You know, that's life. And then more heartbreak for me, I guess. It was announced that Kevin Harvick is probably going to be retiring after his 2023 contract is up. He's getting sick of these cars as well. You can see it. He's just not happy. He's pissed off with NASCAR. I'm sure if he could, he would leave right now, but I think he likes Tony a little too much to do that to him. But yeah, both my drivers are going to be out by next year. So sucks to see Kevin go too.
Well, with Kevin though, he's going straight from the race car into the old folks' home though, so that's actually a pretty good.
Hey,
He's going to the seat onto the pit box. He's going to be Keelan's crew chief.
he's going to be out in Europe with Keelan.
Yeah. Doing Formula A stuff.
Keelan wants that money. That's why he's going to Formula.
Next year is going to be wild because you think about it. Kevin's probably retiring. Martin Truex Jr. is probably retiring at the end of next year. So we're getting into this new era. The new era is starting to move in. Oh, they're kicking all the old folks out.
My childhood is dead. So yeah, sucks to see Kevin go, but you know, I've been watching him race for well over 20 years now. I knew it had to come to an end one of these days, but hey, Kurt and Kevin, they had one hell of a career racing over 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely something to be said for that kind of career.
Mm-hmm. And then it was also announced today, Ty Dillon is going to move over to Spire Motorsports in that 77. We know that he is not the best driver in the world. He's kind of proved it over the years of running with RCR in the Xfinity Series, only getting one win over there, and just multiple teams throughout the Cup Series.
I'm really surprised that he would want to put himself in a situation like that. He's doing it for the paycheck. I can tell you that right now. He's doing it for a paycheck, but he's not going to have any fun over the next year. So I'm sorry, Spire Motorsports is just. It's not it. It's not it. It's not where you're going to go and you're going to run competitive. They're anywhere from a 23rd to a 30th place organization, minus a few good runs that we've seen out of Corey LaJoie this year.
Super
But
Speedway
I just think Corey LaJoie is a better race car driver than Ty Dillon is.
Wow.
This is just. I'm honestly shocked with
Cody Ware's a better driver than Ty Dillon.
Okay, let's pump the brakes a little bit there.
Ian's got strong opinions when Ty Dillon's involved. We know this.
At the Brickyard. Let's pump the brakes on that one. It's too crazy in here. I think I smell a little something going on. But no, yeah, I don't get this move at all. He's doing it for the paycheck. It's just not going to work out for him. He just drives for mediocre organizations. I really thought when they said that RCR was still considered a third Cup organization or third Cup team, I thought he was finally going to sell out to Pop. He said early on in his career he didn't want to be the one to go drive for Grandpa, but at this point in your career, man, you suck.
Yeah, I feel like you got to take all
sell
the
out
help
at some
you
point.
can get, man.
You know damn well he would have put some like RCR Chevy on as a sponsor. Like you got the Hendrick cars, you got the TRD, you got Ford Performance. There would have been something that Richard Chodes would have found.
Nobody wants to back him, man.
He sucks.
You don't want to back a driver that's going to be finishing 35th.
And he's just so boring. Like he's got no personality. He's just a boring dude, and he's a very bad race car driver.
Yeah.
Hey, have I told you how nice you are lately? Oh my God.
Oh, he looks so excited to be there today.
Oh,
I'm gonna attack this from a little different angle than what you two very, very objective reporters have done in this little segment here. I don't quite feel the same as you guys about Ty. I don't quite think he's obviously a playoff driver or anything like that, but I don't think he's Cody Ware or anything along those lines either. I think he's somewhere in that little middle ground of if he was in better equipment, we might see more, but he never really is, so we won't. And there's a reason he probably won't. I'm going to attack this from another way, though. If I'm Spire Motorsports, how does this move make sense? One thing we know about Ty Dillon is he's struggled with sponsorship a lot of his career. He's very good at going out and grinding and trying to get sponsors, but he struggled to get and keep sponsors at times. If you're a place like Spire, maybe I think about going the paid driver route here, where I got somebody coming in like a Riley Herbs. I know that's going to trigger you guys, but maybe not him necessarily, but you know what I'm getting at, where,
over there.
I'm just saying, you get somebody that's a young guy that just wants cup seat time, that's going to come in and write you a monster paycheck and come in with some sponsorship money behind them and try to help you financially. I know Ty does bring some experience from being around Richard Childress and RCR in his Xfinity days and has been around to a couple cup teams and stuff. So maybe that's what they're looking for. I just think with where Ty is in his career, where Spire is in their short time in the Cup Series, I question the fit is where I'm really at with it.
Yeah, I don't really see him bringing in
It's a weird
major
one.
sponsors.
He'll have fun riding 27th.
Yeah, and they're a team. Yeah, we know they don't really run fast, and they're probably a team that's really desperate for sponsors. So, and yeah, I don't see Ty Dillon really bringing in any major sponsors. I feel like the whole Black Rifle Coffee thing was more of a petty GMS sponsor more than Ty Dillon, because Ty Dillon doesn't
He doesn't fit the brand.
No, he does not fit the brand. Noah Gregson definitely fits the brand for Black Rifle Coffee, but Ty Dillon, no, he's a bland motherfucker, man. I don't know. You just need to get
Y'all are so nice, man.
I'm just sick of hearing about the Dillon brothers, man. Like Austin Dillon, yeah, he's proved that he can probably get like a win a year or something. But Ty Dillon, I don't know. I'm sick of hearing about it that he's gonna be.
If he didn't have the last name Dillon, he would not exist in this.
No, he would not be racing. Right, he's having just as good of a career as his dad was, man.
Next year, we're gonna go to a race together. Hopefully, we're able to procure hot passes. We're gonna see Ty Dillon in the garage, and I'm gonna play him this clip and watch him punch both you guys in the face.
Oh shit! You would do that.
Yeah, I'm evil enough. It is what it is.
Can you at least play all the clips I've had about Justin Haley and show that to him?
Yeah, I think that'd be a lot better.
Well, you already have a black eye before we get to Ty Dillon.
Oh, Justin Haley is about as tall as where the computer is set up to where you're at. I could take him.
So is Conor McGregor.
Yeah, well, Conor McGregor.
I don't know if Justin Haley
from Winamac, Indiana.
I don't know. See, I see a lot of parallels between Conor McGregor and Justin Haley. Maybe it's just
Justin Haley and Hasbulla, but
yeah, give Justin Haley that UFC contract.
getting
Jesus.
off track.
Yeah.
Maybe just a little bit.
Yeah, and then just one more top story. Josh Berry, he's going to be returning to Junior Motorsports as well. He's proved it that he can run for a championship with that team. He's got 3 wins this year. Just killing it. Just got the win at Vegas as well. So, yeah, good for Josh Berry. Noah's leaving JRM, so I got a guy to root for next year in Xfinity.
Yeah, he's just a likable dude.
Yeah.
He came around running the short tracks. Him and Dale Jr. are very good friends. Mm-hmm. And Dale's wanted this for a long time. And Josh has wanted this for a long time. To see them already have the success of putting him in that car full time. I mean, even last year when he was part time, he was going out winning races. Hell, he wanted to race Michael in that car. That really goes to show you where that one program was. But that's a story for another day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really cool, Josh. He's just a likable dude, and he goes out and he does what he needs to do.
Yeah, I feel like if JL Jr. really does want to start a cup team, that's the guy you want to team around. Just with how fast he adapted to the Xfinity cars, I feel like he could do really well with the cup cars. With motorsports, it'll be an amazing fit.
That's my only problem with this move is we need to get this dude racing on Sundays already. Like, he's talented enough, he's marketable enough, he's likable enough. There's a cup team that will benefit from having a dude like Josh Berry that's grinded through the short track stuff, that came to the Xfinity series, proved himself, adapted quick. I fully believe this dude could jump into a cup car right now and be very competitive. He's super talented.
Yeah.
So obviously never a bad thing to be in top equipment like the junior motorsports equipment is going to be, but I think this dude needs to be racing on Sunday sooner rather than later. He's that good.
Yeah, I think we'll see that in a few years. Yeah, we've heard Dale Jr.
If
talking
NASCAR,
about.
yeah, if NASCAR wants to figure out this business model here, because Dale Jr.'s right now is saying, I don't want to charter if this is the same business model.
Yeah.
But yeah, a few years down the road, they get this figured out, and Junior Motorsports wants to go cup racing. Bam, there's a guy right there to at least get you started building up. I don't know how old Josh Berry is, but
I think he's probably around 30, probably around your age, Mike.
Yeah, I want to say he's early 30s. Without Googling it, I would guess anywhere from 30 to 33.
He's
Yeah, so
program around.
Yeah, but I mean,
young enough to have a long career, old enough to have paid his dues and know what he's doing.
Yeah, but I mean, shit, look at the Cup Series in the 90s, man. You had rookies that were in their 30s too. So age don't get nowadays with NASCAR.
Well, especially back then, it was different. You really had to pay your dues on the short tracks and all that. I mean, Dale Jr. was what, like 26 his rookie year?
Yeah, something like
Guys
that.
are running 5 seasons by then now.
Yeah, look at Ty Gibbs. He's going to be going into the Cup Series next year, 20 years old. That's fucking.
Kid's going to win a race and can't have a beer afterwards legally.
Right? Fucking wild how things have changed. All right, so now let's get into Vegas. We started off with the Xfinity Series, and we had AJ Allmendinger, just been on a hot streak for the past few weeks. He gets the pole, leads the field to green. And then Trevor Bayne making the save of his career, I would say, hard racing with Noah Gragson, gets loose there in turn 1. Almost spins out, freaking saves the thing, and he keeps going. But dropped a bunch of space.
Saved the car pretty much. This has been the problem with Trevor all season long. He's fast everywhere he goes, but there's just always one thing that always sets him back. It's one thing he just cannot run a clean race. That held him back this season from getting multiple victories that he's been in position to do. It's just that was what lap maybe 3 or 4. Lap 4. And we're already putting ourselves going to the back of the field. Like it was the stuff like that. He's got one more shot to do it. But yeah, great save. But yeah, put yourself behind early, and you're not gonna win many races doing that.
Yeah.
So I saw this. I think it was in the Trevor Bayne group fan page on Facebook group. Somebody posted this, and this race it's a perfect fit for. It's the vicious cycle that is Trevor Bayne in the Xfinity Series.
Yep.
Practice well, qualify really, really well, look awesome in the first stage, some kind of, self-spin or penalty or tire issue, go to the back, fight your way to the front. Oh man, we had a bad car. We had to overcome some stuff, still finish top 5. Man, he's going to win one day.
Yeah.
Rinse, wash, repeat.
There it is right here. The life cycle of Trevor Bayne fan. Blistering fast car, qualifies great. Great for first stage. Begin thinking, is today finally the day? A pit road penalty takes us out of contention and recovery is impossible. He's so fast, he'll get him next race. Oh, bud, we got one to go. One smooth at Homestead. No problems. Please, for the love of Christ.
Life is hard.
I would have bet you guys my life savings after Nashville that dude was going to win a race for sure so far this year. Like he was so close in Nashville. I was like, there's no way he doesn't do it.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I thought
Justin Allgaier's fault. That's Justin Allgaier's fault. We ran second to Justin Allgaier twice this season. It's all his fault. He should have hung it up.
Never in my life been mad to watch Gator win except for those 2 times.
Yeah,
I've only been mad to see him win 2 times. Bet you can guess which 2 those were.
Alrighty, and then Ty Gibbs, he won stage 1, and Noah Gragson won stage 2. So your championship favorites are still collecting playoff points there. And then Josh Berry, just an absolute dominant final stage of this race, goes on to win it at Vegas for his 3rd win of the season. Even after bouncing off the wall, he was still able to go and get that victory. What a hell of a race.
Into the championship 4.
Yeah, into the championship 4. And yeah, I'm kind of worried as a Noah Gragson fan. I'm a little worried about Josh Berry. Yeah,
It's a good kind of
Yeah,
Phoenix
it's
short,
not quite.
but it's still a good racetrack for Josh Berry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, I was cutting out, Nick. I didn't hear that you were speaking. My bad. But no, Josh Berry is not the guy that they wanted to see join them in the championship for. He is just the type of dude to step in, and all we've talked about in the Xfinity series this year is the 9, the 54, the 9, the 54. And he's just enough dude to spoil both of their seasons.
Yeah. Him and Justin Allgaier, I would really worry about at Phoenix, because Justin Allgaier, we know that is his best track right there. He just absolutely kills it every time he goes there. Noah did win earlier this year, which I'm a little positive about, but damn, there's just a whole lot of factors that can go into this.
You're just dealing with Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs can just show up and put an ass whooping on him
exactly.
Whenever he feels like it. So
mm-hmm.
This is why I love the Xfinity series, and this is why I hate to see us lose so much talent to the Cup series next year. Is because you got guys like Gregson and Gibbs that are moving on up.
Yeah,
but then
Dinger's leaving too.
Dinger's leaving too, and so
yeah.
I was about to say Brandon Jones, but yeah, he's still staying. But no, that just opens the door for guys next year. Like this could be Justin Allgaier's dominant run.
Mm-hmm.
Austin Hill's been really good this season. Who knows what happens with Brandon Jones in the 9 car? And then
don't ever say that again. That just hurts to hear.
It really does.
That makes me want to throw up.
It really does hurt to hear. Maybe Trevor Bayne does snag a full-time ride, and you know what? He rebounded to finish 5th in this race. So he's fast everywhere he goes. He just needs to put together a full funded season and not have pit road penalties every fucking week.
Yeah. I think regardless, I think the Xfinity series is going to be phenomenal again.
It's next year. It's a reset button. Like you're losing 3 very good race car drivers.
Just like with Christopher Bell, Tyler Reddick.
When the big 3 moved up. Yeah, now this big 3, that big 3.
Okay. To me, the difference there, though, when those guys went up, we kind of knew who the next crop behind them was going to be. We figured Noah would step up and be that guy, and we knew the people coming behind him. I don't know if we quite have that next group of like, oh, these are the next bona fide superstars to go to Cup quite there yet. I'm not saying there won't be, but it's just not as obvious to the eyeballs. Like, oh, yeah, that guy's going to be a stud now, or that guy's just going to dominate.
Yeah, a lot of these guys are like, still going to be racing Xfinity next year. I don't see them moving up the Cup like immediately. Like, honestly, the only guy that I'm eyeballing that can move the Cup so quickly is someone like Josh Berry. That's really it. Everyone else, I think Brandon Jones, I think he's going to be a lifer down in the Xfinity series. I don't think he's ever going to move up. Riley Herbst, it's kind of up in the air with what goes on with the Cup side of Stewart-Haas Racing, I feel like. So, yeah, a lot of factors.
Yep. And I'm hoping we get ourselves a full-time ride for next year. You put Trevor Bayne in the 18 car full-time next year. I'm saying it now. That dude's going to go out. He's going to win this title.
Yeah.
He instantly jumps to the top of my board as someone who's just going to go out and haul ass, because he's been in 8 races and he has hauled ass in all 8 of those races. So I don't see why that would change in a fully funded season next year. It would just be so fucking exciting to watch.
They don't even have. I don't even think Joe Gibbs Racing has a full-time driver set for Xfinity next year.
You think Sammy Smith at some point, and then who else? Trevor Bayne.
I was gonna say, what if they put him in the 54 next year? Just I know we're obviously a little biased, but at the same time, name me somebody better right now. Name me somebody better.
Car, and I am booking my plane ticket to Phoenix. That's all I'm saying. I'm booking my trip to Phoenix right then and there. But yeah, this was an exciting race. Xfinity Series always is. But yeah, really, how about Haley Deegan though? P13 in her first Xfinity Series race.
In the SS Greenlight car too.
In the SS Greenlight car, she had herself a good run. They weren't tough. They really didn't mention her. She wasn't in the headlines for any wrong reason. She went out there. She just ran a clean race.
She said she wanted the top 15. That's exactly what she got.
She went out and got. It makes you think about the truck series, and is that the best place for driver development? Because we see her struggle in the truck series, and then she steps in this Xfinity car, and
hence Harrison Burton. He was absolute dog shit in the truck series, and moves over to Xfinity, and he lit the world on fire for 2 seasons. So
it'd be very interesting to see what happens with Haley Deegan here. I think I would at least want to give her a try. Like give her 4 races this season, and then give it a go next year in Xfinity Series and see what happens.
Hell, I mean, open up the 0-0 back. Have 2 cars for SHR and Xfinity. See how she does. I mean, we know that she can bring in the big bucks. That's what Stuart Haas needs right now is money. I honestly, with how well she did, who knows what she could do?
I wholeheartedly agree, guys. I tend to think we're going to see Haley Deegan full time in the Xfinity Series next year, and I'm going to go out on a step and predict that she's going to have a little bit of success. We've talked about this before. The Truck Series style of driving is not everybody's cup of tea. If you're I don't want to say conservative because that word has negative connotations, but we'll just say if you drive professionally, where you're not hyper aggressive, almost like a Jeff Burton type in his Cup Series career, where like you just do what you do, get better with your car, work on it, and then you see where you're at the end. The Truck Series does not lend itself well to those. It lends itself to the guys that go out and get after it, that are hyper aggressive, that are gonna move people when they need to, so on and so forth. I mean, we watch the Truck Series week in and week out. You guys know what you see. I think, yeah, I think her skill set as a professional style driver lends itself much more to the Xfinity Series. And I think you're going to see her come up. I'm not going to say she's not going to struggle at times. I'm not going to say she's running the top 5 all year, but I think you're going to see her run better there than she did in the trucks. I just do. I think it lends itself better to her. I think she's a better fit with those cars, the way they drive. And like you guys said, she's going to bring sponsorship money. So somebody better give her a chance.
Well, not just look at what she said post race when they asked her what the difference was between the Xfinity car and the truck. She said you can do a whole lot more in an Xfinity car than you can in a truck, more to fit her driving style, like Mike was saying.
Mm-hmm.
And then she pretty much just said these guys, they race each other clean and respectful. They don't do that down where I'm from. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Big ass hats every week, intensely wrecking.
He's throwing his hats out like they're bananas in Mario Kart.
Oh Jesus!
So
Hey,
for the Truck Series, but yeah, it would be interesting to see what happens to Haley Deegan next year because she did a phenomenal job in her debut.
I feel like after that, at least give her half a season at least to run some Xfinity races. Maybe not a full season.
Yeah.
Still got to see what she does. Do something like what they did for Ty Gibbs last season. So, and then maybe have her run full season 2024. Who knows? But yeah, I think
future's bright.
Yeah, future's bright for her right now. She absolutely proved it at Vegas. The mile and a halfs aren't like the easiest for these Xfinity guys. So yeah, kudos to Haley Deegan. I've given her a lot of shit in the past year for
as of all of us.
Yeah, as of all of us for running dog shit in the Truck Series. But yeah, we have learned that trucks ain't for everybody. All right, guys. So now let's get into this Cup race on Sunday.
Probably the most boring race I've ever seen.
Yeah, I said nothing too big. This is gonna be really short.
Honestly, we don't even need to talk about.
Yeah, you guys can actually just turn this off. Really nothing important. So, start off Tyler Reddick. It was announced the day before that he's going to be moving over to 2311, and he got the pole for Vegas on Sunday.
His final FU to Richard.
Basically.
I want to pull in 3 races in your car, and I'm still leaving you.
And poor Kyle Busch, man. This guy can't catch a break with his final few races with the 18 car. 4 to go in stage 1. He has a tire go down, spins out, goes into the grass.
I'm telling you, Kyle Busch does not give a shit anymore. He is so ready for these next 3 races to just be done with. Because as soon as the checker flag hits on Phoenix, he's like, fuck 2022. I'm going to the Bahamas. And then when I get back, it's time. It's time to be back.
He's gonna be like, "Fuck you, Joe. Fuck you, Toyota. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you."
So that episode of South Park when they're the Washington Redskins. You. That's gonna be Kyle. You know how Dale Earnhardt he went down pit road and everybody was like giving him high fives. That's gonna be Kyle Busch giving the bird to everybody going down pit road.
It's gonna go past all the Joe Gibbs Toyota teams, just flipping them Uno.
Every JGR pit box and give them all the bird.
But, yeah, poor Kyle. And then we had some controversy on lap 54 this race.
Real controversy.
Bright and early. Mr. Kyle Larson running up the track, running Bubba up into the wall. Mr. Bubba Wallace was not happy with him. Boom, right reared him. Almost put Kyle Larson in the hospital. Thank God that 20 was there to block him.
Almost put him in the grave, man.
Almost with how safe these cars are, who knows what would have happened to Kyle Larson, but thank God Seabell was there to protect him a little bit. That knocks Christopher Bell out of championship contention. Basically, he's got a win to get into Phoenix now. Sucks. He just won last week at the Roval to get in, but oh, Mikey, you're the Bubba fan. You're the one that's been all hyped up about this.
All jacked up.
Y'all sitting down because I got lots to say on the matter. All right. So first and foremost, I will start this by saying in no way, shape, or form do I condone right rearing anybody. It's the throwing at somebody's head in baseball equivalent in NASCAR. You just don't do it. I don't condone it. So we're just gonna get that out of the way first. So I'm not condoning his actions in any way, shape, or form for that. But this is what this reminded me of. So as you guys know, I played hockey my whole life. Sometimes at a pretty high level, sometimes at a not so high level. One thing that is universal in hockey, no matter what level is, you see it in the NHL. Guys like Brad Marchand have made a career doing this. Guys in front of the net, he's getting cross-checked in the back, cross-checked in the back, cross-checked in the back. No call, no call. Getting slashed in the ankle, no call. Finally, at some point, the dude getting hit is pissed, says enough's enough, turns around, and you just jaw jack that guy, just fucking punch him in the face. Guess who gets the penalty? Guess who gets the major penalty and gets the suspension? Not the guy that started everything that's being the antagonizer, but the guy that the referee saw do that. Is he right for punching him? Absolutely not. Big no-no? Absolutely. If we stopped all the bullshit that got to that point, does he ever get punched in the face? No. That's my problem with this whole scenario. Again, I don't condone what Bubba did. I don't condone right rearing anybody. I'm frankly a little disappointed, and that's what he thought was the appropriate action. However, we've seen Kyle Larson do this shit all year. He came into that turn 15 miles an hour, too quick, trying to be a hero. Maybe he thought he was on Xbox. Who knows? But he puts Bubba Wallace. He puts Bubba in a position once again where, like, dude, you're lifting or I'm putting you in the fence. You tell me which one you want to do. It ain't the first. It ain't the second. It ain't the third time he's done it this year. It ain't the 10th time. He's done it over and over and over, and not just to Bubba, to other people too. And that to me is where this starts. Kyle Larson, I'm not buying the persona. I'm not buying the bullshit. He knows exactly what he's doing. You know how I know that? Because he continues to do it. The only way you stop somebody from doing that stuff is when you stand up to them. Again, I don't like what Bubba did. I think there's a right and a wrong way to do it. But had somebody said something to him, you go to like Formula One, they have stewards that look at every crash and every incident, so things don't escalate like this. Stuff like that being in place, going back years past, you got Bill Sr. and Dale Earnhardt. Somebody's driving like a dickhead week in and week out. You're going to pull them into the NASCAR hall and be like, hey, cut the shit out before it gets out of hand. Again, I don't condone what Bubba did, but you put yourself in a position where people are in the heat of battle. Stuff like this builds. It's easy to be on your computer, on Twitter, whatever, and oh, we should have done this, you could have done that. You're not thinking like that when you're in the heat of battle. This stuff builds and builds and builds. You get to a point where you're going to react, and we're human beings more often than not, which we see not just in NASCAR, in baseball, in hockey, in contact sports. The person that's retaliating is going to overreact. We see it over and over and over again. If you stop the shit when it first started, you never get to this point. It's a miracle it's taken this long. I'm still surprised nobody's done something like this to the one. Not necessarily right rearing. I'm talking about retaliating. It's a miracle Ross Chastain hasn't been jaw jacked this year. It's a miracle he hasn't been put in the fence or spun into the infield already. We're this deep into the playoffs, and all these people talking about he's getting his, nobody's done it. So, there is a level of, if you don't stand up to these people, they're going to continue to do it. You don't got to like it. I don't like the way he did it, But you know what? He's going to think twice the next time he heroes into a turn 15 miles an hour too fast, goes to put somebody in the wall, looks over and sees Bubba Wallace like, oh shit, yeah, I better lay off here because he ain't going to put up with that bullshit like some of these other guys do. Um, and again, I understand the safety thing, but there's also a safety thing there. When you're continually putting people in a position to lift or wreck, you're not really worried about your safety, are you? So again, Bubba's got his culpability in the matter. I don't condone the way he reacted, but I am not buying any of this bullshit on the Kyle Larson end whatsoever. He knows exactly what he's doing. He does it week in and week out. He knew what he's doing going in there the way he does. So he's got culpability on my end too. And I really don't care for that being able to let go on and on and on and on, because this is what this festers. You put yourself in a position for shit like this to happen when you don't nip the bullshit in the bud at the source.
Wow. That's a lot to take in right there.
Yeah.
I'm really just gonna keep mine short and sweet. I mean, we've been talking about this in our group chat all day. At the end of the day, you're right hooking someone right into traffic at the rate of speed that these cars were going. You deserve a suspension. Now, I will also say though that there's been multiple times where we've seen people right hooking other drivers and they're not getting suspensions. I mean, look at Carl Edwards and Brad Keselowski in Atlanta, where
he flipped him
into the catchment.
Dude, and the driver's side was dented from the wall. Like, can you imagine if that was this car?
Carl Edwards,
Brad would have been dead.
Carl Edwards was a jackass on the racetrack because he did that at Atlanta, and then he got him in
Gateway.
At Gateway.
Yeah.
So that those two right there should have been suspensions. Ben Rhodes, when he got into Christian Atkins, that's a suspension right there. What Noah Gragson did, that's a suspension right there.
As a Noah Gragson fan, I think he should.
So I totally understand the frustration coming out of this. So they're like, oh, so now they're just going to do this to Bubba. But at some point, they had to draw. They were just getting too much heat, I think. And then the big thing is the safety. I mean, this car has already proven not to be the safest as we got. And we've had 4 guys miss races due to injuries coming from this car. So I think that played a big role. And then just right hooking someone at the speed that these guys are coming. You have the 20 right there. If the 20's not right there, sucks for Christopher. Completely ruined his race, and now he's in a must-win situation to advance to the championship after just winning at the Roval a week ago. But if Christopher wasn't there, Kyle Larson goes into that wall head on, and then
it could be a 5th driver.
That could be a 5th driver right there. But that's really all I have to say. You right hook someone, you deserve to pay the price, and it just really sucks though because Bubba Wallace has had such an incredible second half of the season.
Yeah. And
there's going to be your typical douchebags out there, the people who don't like Bubba Wallace, who are only going to remember this 2022 season for him as when he right hooked Kyle Larson at Kansas, and that really sucks because he's gonna bounce back from this. He's gonna take this week off. He's gonna bounce back from this. He knows what he did was wrong. I mean, the team was not happy with them. We saw there what they put out earlier. This is just gonna be a week for Bubba to reflect. And I hope he really bounces back strong from it because he's had such a great 2022 season. It's just a safety thing for me in the end. I think if you right hook somebody, it doesn't matter what series you're racing in, trucks, Xfinity, Cup, ARCA, late model, whatever. Yeah. You right hook someone into the wall,
especially on the straightaway.
You're getting suspended for a race. That's just how I see it.
Yeah, and I
don't disagree.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. We were just saying it. Noah Gragson, when he got into Sage Karam at Road America, I'm a big Noah Gragson fan, and I thought that was the dumbest move that he's made of his career. I thought he was going to get suspended, but they really just slapped him on the wrist. I thought William Byron was going to get some kind of penalty. They totally took that same exact penalty.
Same portion of the rule book, and not William Byron. You're totally okay.
William Byron
did. Wallace, you tried to kill a dude.
Yeah.
You're suspended.
William Byron did the same thing.
William Byron did the same exact thing, and his was a little bit more dangerous because William Byron was going head on full speed, and Denny was already slowing down because they were under caution.
And who knows, what if Denny was having brake problems? He just goes right into pit road or something. It just caused a bunch of problems. But yeah, that's my only problem with this whole thing. Yes, I do think that Bubba Wallace did deserve to get suspended, but I think other drivers deserved to get suspended. Well, it should have been William Byron, Noah Gragson, Carl Edwards, all these other guys that made stupid dipshit moves deserve to sit on their ass for a race or two and think about what the fuck they done, because they could have seriously hurt someone.
Well, even Bob Pockrass was even like, "Oh, I'm a little surprised at this too," because he also brought up the fact that we have seen this before, and not all those have been suspensions. So he was even surprised that they went as far.
Yeah.
But I really do think it just comes down to we've already had issues with this car, and to do that at the rate of speed that they were going. Like if this was,
I think
if
they
this
said
was
enough
under
is enough.
caution, if this was under caution and they were going 50 miles an hour and he right hooked them, you're not gonna see a
Be a little bit
suspension.
different.
They were going at an alarming rate of speed, and they had cars that were coming up. That could have been it could have been a lot worse than it was. Glad that they're both okay.
And you ruined the championship contenders, chances of getting into the final four too, which I think, that's not, making it worse for him to get suspended, but I just feel like, that just sucks for Seabell. Like he was just caught up in the wrong place at the wrong time. And now he has to go win Homestead or Martinsville if he wants to race for a championship now. So yeah, you make stupid moves, you get stupid prizes.
Only little thing I'd like to add, Nick, you touched on the Ben Rhodes, Christian Eckes situation, and that's something we talked about off air as we were kind of going over some of our thoughts and opinions on the matter. And I pointed out then, I'll point out again here, I think that's a pretty good parallel for the situation too, because again, what happened there? Eckes raced Ben like shit week after week after week. It builds. Races him like shit one too many times, hit the breaking point, Ben overreacts, right rears him to the wall in the oval. Where was Ben's suspension? Oh, okay, he didn't get one too. Okay, I was just thinking out loud here. So again, I really, at the end of the day, I don't have any problem with the discipline, because again, I'm disappointed in the fact that we're talking about Bubba right rearing people with the season that he's had. I have a major problem with the inconsistency, and I have a major problem with the policing or lack thereof in the sport. When you don't have the sanctioning body doing anything, taking precautions to stop the shit that gets us to this point, when you don't have a leader in the garage grabbing dudes and telling them, hey, cut the fucking shit or it's going to get out of hand fast. This is what you get. I don't condone it, but I will tell you, the longer they allow the shit to go on, and they know they do, they celebrate the shit. That's why we have the nonsense we have at the end of the Roval, where we got 60 car pileups racing for stage wins to move on to the next round. They love the drama, the controversy, and the bullshit. Don't let them fool you. As long as you allow it to go on this way, this is what you're going to get, like it or not. I don't like it. I don't support it. But you know what? If you stop it at the source, we never get here.
Yeah, exactly. But I still think if you kind of enforce something like that, you're still going to have guys driving like jackasses week in and week out. You're still going to get Ross Chastain driving people up into the wall and spinning them out for no reason, getting on their ass. But that's just the way some of these guys are bred to race, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean,
well, that's because of the style of racing that we see now. You don't see this 20 years ago, because Dale Earnhardt takes you behind the garage hauler and he has a stern talking to you. 10 years ago, Uncle Tony takes you behind the hauler and has a stern talking with you, grabbing you by the collar like he did Ernie Francis Jr. at the SRX series. We don't have that guy now. So when it gets left to be this way, and the sanctioning body doesn't have anything where they're doing much until it's too late and it's the retaliatory, this is what you're going to get.
Yeah. My number one thing with NASCAR is do not use your car as a weapon. If you want to, settle it with the guy, wait for the race is over, or wait till both of your cars are wrecked, then get out and start fucking hammering on each other, or fucking start talking. Don't fucking.
Or one hammering on the other and the other running away the whole time. Is that cool too?
It's like, Bubba, stop. He says, what you doing, bitch? That's pretty much that one. Seeing the video from that person who caught it from the grandstands.
What a show.
Get out of Kyle.
I'm surprised that Kyle Larson didn't put a dent in that car, man. God.
Also, see, that to me, on a lighter note, if you will, was the one thing I thought was absolutely hilarious. Like, to a degree, I understand where Kyle Larson's coming from. If he wants to keep his, we'll just say, not so squeaky clean persona, you can't really have a push or a shove back there. But at the same time, once somebody pushes you first or puts his hands on you
That's
first,
game
in my
on.
opinion, it's fair game. It's game on.
That's even what Joey
Bubba manhandled this dude, and all he did was sit there and take it. Like, well, I'll let your imaginations wander, like fill in the blank there. Yeah, so that to me was incredibly soft. I found that comical.
It just looked like a bully on the playground.
Yeah,
It did.
It was just so funny. Bubba wrecked the shit out of him. Then he goes over and starts fucking shoving him. Like, God damn, dude, weren't you the one that did all this? It's just fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
Bubba was big mad about getting raced like that.
Oh,
but
God, I love NASCAR.
There wasn't that much going on this race. We didn't really have much to talk about.
No, that was
Anything else happen after that?
I don't even think it's worth talking.
Did a dude who right rears people, who also came out and talked about how bad is to right rear people, then go on to win the race? Did that also happen?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. So
Logano winning this race is probably, and then his comment afterward, him being the one to comment on the situation. I was like,
shut the fuck up.
Yes. I want to hear from Joey Logano on this matter as much as I want to hear about this from Kyle Busch. You two just shut up. Don't do it.
Within seconds, people were posting when he hooked Larson at the All-Star race at Charlotte a couple years back.
Yeah.
You're quite qualified to talk about this one. Huh? Oh,
yeah, he wrecked something like 5 races or something. He doesn't have shit to say. Joey Logano.
Funny guy.
Yeah, he can go fuck himself. But Mikey, Ryan Blaney went on to win stage 2. Some good points for old Blaners there. But then tragedy hit once again for the 12 car. He had a tire go down as he was running second in the final stage there. More bad luck. He's still searching for that first win of the season and just gone again by these crappy ass tires.
For the record, helped or not, did we see another car tear the wall down and then come directly down through the field there? Okay, just asking. Moving on. Yeah, it sucks. Ryan Blaney, shit's going to happen to Ryan Blaney. But again, he's only like 11 points out with 2 races to go into the mile and a half, which besides this past weekend had been very, very good to him. Then you add in Martinsville, which is a track he coulda, shoulda, woulda, probably shoulda won at how many times now? I'm not that worried, to be honest with you. You don't ever want to be on the outside of the bubble looking in, but I'm really not that worried for the playoff bubble as to where we're at. So I think it's very easily, not very easily, maybe not the correct way to phrase it, but I think there is a path to overcome that points deficit.
Yeah. I mean, if he stays as consistent as he has been, I think he'll be all right. And he just stays clean because, we're going to Homestead and then Martinsville. We don't know how Martinsville is going to be because it was kind of a snooze fest when we went there in the spring, but we always know that cars are going to be torn up. So he's just got to stay clean for there. And like you said, he's really good at this track. He's really good at the short tracks, but something always happens. He always leads at Bristol. He has a tire go down or he gets caught up in someone else's mess. So this time he just needs luck by his side to make it to the Final Four.
Nick, I would like you to reread the vicious Trevor Bayne cycle, but change the name to Ryan Blaney. It's the same.
About it,
yeah.
Sums it up perfectly.
Except for winning, because Ryan Blaney. Besides this year, he hasn't won yet. But Ryan Blaney, he is a consistent winner. But I would say that rinse and repeat thing would be trying to get to the Final Four, really, or just surviving in the playoffs.
And when it comes to the whole not having a win except for the pretend, also controversial. Dude, my dudes are just mired in controversy this year. We got the All-Star races, Bubba shit. I will just say if he wants to go Daniel Hemrick and not win until Phoenix and make that win count for a championship, I'm way cool with that
too. Pretty fucking cool. I like that route.
I might have to hope I have some days off to work to take after that happens, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Oh my goodness. And then more trouble for Kyle Busch. He had a tire come off after pit stops. So Ben Bayshore, a few crew members, they are gone for the rest of the season now. So Kyle doesn't have to see them anymore. So I'm sure he's happy about that because we know the whole Ben Bayshore thing has been fucking phenomenal for that 18 team. So Kyle Busch, like we said earlier, he's just ready to fucking leave.
Yeah. The other side of that coin, though, is I feel like being Kyle Busch's crew chief has got to be the worst crew chiefing job in the sport a lot of days. You could be running fifth and he's motherfucking you on the radio up, down, left, and right. So that can't be a whole lot of fun to be good at your job and still feel like the smallest dude in the room at all times. So I give him a little more sympathy than others. Has he done the Adam Stevens-esque job? No. Does he deserve the Kyle Busch treatment as much as he's got? Maybe not, but I also don't think Kyle Busch is going to miss him for the rest of the season by any stretch of the imagination.
Not one bit. So
I bet you if you told Kyle Busch right now that, hey, man, you can have Ben Bayshore on the box for the last 3 races or any of the 3 co-hosts of the Stock Car Spectacle, he would put our 3 names in a hat and pick between us.
I hope so.
I would get so much lip during the race. I'd be like, just shut the fuck up and drive, Kyle.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is drive. Drive the car.
Turn
Tell
left.
me what you need. Just shut up already. And that's when I get fired.
Yep.
Yeah.
One race is Kyle Busch's crew chief.
15 laps.
Yeah.
They pulled me off the box.
Alrighty, and then Joey Logano, he ran down Ross Chastain. Joey Logano had a freaking piss missile there in the final few laps, got the win at Vegas, locked himself in the final 4. That's what Joey Logano does. He has a mediocre ass season. He'll get 1 or 2 wins, and then he'll do amazing in the playoffs. He'll lock himself. He'll win a race in the round of 8 like he did in 2018 at Martinsville. And then he's going to go on and win Phoenix. This is how it goes for Joey Logano.
So can we just take a second to appreciate how goddamn beautiful this sport of NASCAR is? We have all this controversy with Bubba Wallace, and then we have Joey Logano and Ross Chastain battling for the race win. Oh, and then Ross Chastain puts Kyle Busch in the wall in the last lap. I love this shit, man.
Absolutely insane.
I was just really hoping for Chastain to just pull like a major block and just wreck both those cars, man.
No, I was hoping for Kyle Busch to get out of the car. I was hoping for Kyle Busch to get out of the car and suplex his ass, so we're not talking about this Bubba Wallace shit.
Yeah. 2 fights in 1 race. That'd be fucking great.
You nailed it, though. This is what Joey Logano does. We're really strapping ourselves in to watch Joey Logano win his 2nd championship after being mediocre all fucking season.
Well, he's got the ultimate advantage now. The next 2 rounds of the round of the 8 don't mean diddly do to him or the team.
Strapping that Phoenix car right now.
Yep.
Yeah, they're building the Phoenix car now, and they're like, all right, well, this is what we ran in, Homestead the last time. We go there and run 18th. Who gives a fuck? We're gonna go to.
Yeah, Joey Logano's just showing up for funsies the next 2 weeks.
Right, yeah, we're gonna go to Martinsville. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna wreck some people, piss some people off. We want to be psychopaths. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I also don't put it past Joey Logano to go to Martinsville and just be senior dickhead just to piss everybody off, knowing he ain't got nothing to lose.
Yeah, might as well.
I would respect it if we're being honest.
You're just gonna be like, oh, Kyle Busch will rip that bandage off. We'll butt heads again. Let's do it.
He's the perfect person to get back at Ross Chastain because what are you gonna do to him?
Yeah.
I will say, pretty impressive race for Chase Briscoe. He finished 4th, and he's only 9 points out of the championship 4. I hate to say it, 2 weeks from now, we're running Martinsville, and Martinsville is a racetrack where we saw in the spring where we were shifting a lot, and when it comes to racetracks, we have to shift a lot. Car number 14 seems to be out in front, and quite a few of those. Hell, he won at Phoenix earlier this season. And then when we went to Gateway, when we were shifting there, he was up front before he had the mechanical
Mhm.
issue. He ran well at Martinsville. He just always seems to have issues in these kind of races where he's really fast in. But we go to Martinsville in 2 weeks. This would just be the wackiest end to this 2022 NASCAR season. And if Chase Briscoe wins Martinsville and he goes on and puts on another ass whooping like he did in Phoenix, and he's your fucking champion after having like 4 top 10s all season long. That is the perfect way. That is how I want the Cup Series season to end, because this second half has just been shit, man. It's been
No, I can beat
I've
that.
ever seen.
I want it to be chaos.
I can beat that. I want all 4 championship drivers involved in a wreck at Phoenix where they're all out of the race on lap 9.
Oh my
What
god.
do you do?
Have them qualify 1, 2, 3, 4, put it 3 wide in the dog leg. Kyle Larson takes him 4 wide and wads them all up Bubba style.
Then it's just
I got loose. Okay, fucker. Sure.
It's a battle to see if any other cars have problems in the race and see where these guys fall to. Otherwise, it's a photo finish on lap 9 to see who was out in front when the caution came out. Champion.
The championship driver finishes 33rd.
Yeah.
That's who's gonna win this thing.
That would be a
I feel like that would be an all but too appropriate finish to this Cup Series.
I don't think I'd be able to watch Cup Series racing in 2023 if that happened. I would just be laughing for 3 straight months about how much of a fucking the sport is. If that's how it's but that would be the most NASCAR way to end the season.
yeah.
Or they're gonna be like, all right, get the cars off the track. We're running 3 laps around this joint and on foot. And whoever
literally running.
we're literally running. We're running 3 laps, and whoever's at
Ricky Bobby style.
yeah, Ricky Bobby in this shit. 3 laps, give it your best, and whoever's in the best shape is gonna have it. It's gonna have an advantage in that.
Yeah.
Figuratively and literally.
Yeah. Let's take a look at standings right now, though. So obviously, Joey Logano locked himself into the final 4. And we got Ross Chastain in second. He's plus 18. Chase Elliott plus 17. Denny Hamlin plus 6. And then below the cut line, we got Byron minus 6. Briscoe minus 9. Blaney minus 11. And Bell minus 23. So, with Christopher Bell getting knocked out, he's only minus 23. He needs some drivers to have a few bad races, and he could get himself in there. But it is really tight.
It's just going to be an exciting
Okay.
races.
Here's my thing. Are we really thinking Christopher Bell was going to make the championship 4? Like,
I don't know, man.
He's looked
At this
pretty
rate.
hot in like this second half of the playoffs. I really did think last round that he could possibly do it. I mean, the kid's getting hot at the right time. Like, maybe this is the turning point for his career. We all thought, maybe he'll be out of the 20 in a few years, but fuck, he's racking
He's
up
going
a
to be the
few
one that
wins this year.
survives the curse of the 20 car.
Yeah, I really do think this is the guy that's going to be the next driver of the 20. We had Matt Kenseth for a couple of years, Eric Jones, a few other guys, but I think Christopher Bell, like, we knew how good he was in the Xfinity Series. We're like, all right, this guy's going to be a fucking prodigy. Comes up for the Cup Series a few years, mediocre, lackluster bullshit, but now this year, kind of proven that he is going to be ready to be contending for some championships here pretty soon.
I don't necessarily disagree with that, but I don't think he was going to make the championship 4 this season one way
I mean,
or
I don't
another.
think anybody thought Chase Briscoe was making the round of 8, and here we are.
Well, okay, on that note, I will 100% agree is this has been the play. It's kind of like the Major League Baseball playoffs, right? This has been the playoffs of chaos. Agent Chaos has just sprinkled his shit all over this. You've got Kyle Larson out early, Kyle Busch out early, Kevin Harvick out. I mean, you look at where you're at with ex-champions, being out way earlier than we probably thought they coulda, shoulda, woulda. I mean, this has been absolute chaos this year with the playoffs. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and retract my statement because this has been the Kevin Garnett playoffs. Anything is possible.
At this point, I like this championship 4 right now. I think that this is going to be your final 4 right here of Logano, Chastain, Elliott, and Denny. The only guy I can see bumping their way in is Ryan Blaney. William Byron. He did win at Homestead though.
Yeah.
2 years ago. So it's just so tight. That's what's going to make it exciting. But if I had to make predictions right now, I think your final four stands, and those are your four guys that are running for Phoenix.
I think Ross Chastain's way too excited for me. I think he's gonna do something stupid. He's gonna fuck himself up, or someone's finally gonna fuck with him. These next two races, he's not gonna be getting his way in. Ryan Blaney, he's gonna be as consistent as he always has been. He's gonna take that final spot in the final four. I do agree with everybody except Chastain.
I wholeheartedly agree with Ian on this, and I will take it a step further. Again, full on disclaimer. I am not advocating, calling for, or condoning anybody right-rearing anybody or anything of the matter. But if Ross Chastain is allowed by the other drivers on the racetrack to make it to Phoenix as a championship competitor, there's a lot of people in that field I'm going to lose a boatload of respect for that talked a lot of shit about what they were going to do when the time was right. Well, what's a better time that's right than stopping somebody from making the championship four?
They're all going to pull Truex. Martin Truex Jr. talked all that shit. Yeah, he won the battle. He didn't win the damn war. And then he fucking Truex with like 30 laps.
And then he pulled over for him too, basically.
He's like, yeah, it's yours, pal.
Here you go, Mr. Logano, sir.
I really don't want to get fenced by you again because I know you
so
anyway.
I'm sorry, and I hate to be that way, but it's, again, you reap what you sow. Ross Chastain's driven the way he is till this point. I'm incredibly surprised he's lasted this long in the playoffs without getting his proverbial punch in the mouth. Yep. We're this far in. He's still there. He's still, looking like a championship four driver. I'm dumbfounded. I really am. I think he will not be making it to Homestead. I just think at this we're where we need to be now for somebody to put the screws to him.
Yeah. Well, and if Denny doesn't make the championship four, I hope he's the one that takes Ross Chastain out if he is contending for a title. I hope it's him. I hope it's on lap 1 too. I hope they qualify on the same row, and I hope he just turns right into him, and that's it. He's like, what?
Are you advocating for this with the safety of these cars, Nicholas? I condemn this kind of behavior.
Yeah, because he'll be left hooking him.
Oh, okay. All right.
The only thing that could go wrong is that'll be driver's side door, and everybody just fucking rams into him. So.
Or he spins into the infield and flips 38 times.
Hey, man, that's
I just, all kidding aside, I just hope that the Bubba controversy doesn't really handcuff Denny now, because you can't be the guy doing that when you're disciplining a driver for doing that. So there's that.
I think you'll see some drivers. I don't know about this whole retaliation.
But don't forget though too, you can do things to stop him from advancing that don't require wadding up a race.
Yeah. Do
what you can break.
Gateway. That was fucking hilarious. He was just fucking with him for the whole race, just slowing up in front of him and just
making the race. He just made that race hell for him.
Yeah, exactly. You just gotta
exactly.
You want to take me out 6 laps in the race? I'm gonna make the race hell for you.
That's the thing. I'm not necessarily calling for somebody to put him in the 18th row or anything like that. There's a lot of stuff you can do to prevent this man from going to to Phoenix as a championship 4 driver without even making contact with his race car.
Bingo. All right, guys. What's up?
That's a bingo bango.
Bingo bango. All righty. So, guys, we got Joey Logano in. Got 2 races left before we see this championship race. Who is your champion, guys? Nick, let's start off with you. Who's going to be crowned at Phoenix?
Well, I think that this top 4 right now is your championship 4. Logano, Chastain, Elliott, and Denny Hamlin. And out of those 4 guys, it's going to come down to Elliott and Denny Hamlin. I think that those 2 run the best at Phoenix. And obviously, I'm going to be a homer here. And with the shit season it's been for Denny Hamlin, I think he's going to end it on top, get that first title. Although I'm all for chaos. Crown me Ross Chastain. Crown me Chase Briscoe as a champion. That's Professor Chaos right there. But no, I really do think that if Denny makes it to Phoenix, he's going to be the one to do it. The speed hasn't really been there this playoffs, but he's just consistently there. That's why he's in this position yet again. And Phoenix is a good racetrack for him. So we'll see what happens. But if it comes down to it, I'm taking driver 11.
Okay, Mike.
I'm thinking it's going to be very close between Chase Elliott and Ryan Blaney. They've been two of the most consistent drivers week in and week out. Call me a homer if you will. I'm clearly on the don't give a shit tour tonight, so that's fine. Come at me, that's cool. But no, all seriousness, they have been two of the most consistent drivers. When it comes to the Blaney stuff, I still think it's just a matter of time before we get a win. There's still 3 races left where it can happen. I think he's going to be fast enough to overcome the deficit, the hole he's in right now. I do think. What's that?
Only -11.
Right. And then you add in the fact that I still think there's going to be some chaos, tomfoolery, what have you, if you will, with the 1, the 11, and some others. So anything's possible. You just keep your nose clean the next couple races. If you get through Homestead with a good point stay, a quiet day, a nice top 5 finish where you got some stage points, you're right there going to Martinsville. Anything's possible. You go to Phoenix. He's been fast at Phoenix. But Chase has been very good there too. So I'm going to just go out and say it's going to be Chase, but I think it's very close between Chase and Blaney.
All right, not bad. This really pains me to say this, but I really do think that 22 is going to be your champion. I mean, he is a winner here at Phoenix on the new configuration. Does really well here. We know how hot he gets late in these playoffs. I think he's just going to spoil it. I think he is going to spoil it and win the championship and make us mad once again.
So we start off the season with the Joey Logano win at the Clash, and at the end it with the Joey Logano win. What? That's burned this season.
That's why it really pains me. I do think your champion is going to be Joey Logano or Chase Elliott. So you can just put the bullet in my brain now.
So you're talking about some people. There's no controversial or any kind of polarity in them fan bases, is there?
No, not one bit. These guys, they've
I mean, on paper, Chase Elliott is the most deserving champion.
He's been the best driver all year.
He deserves it the most. But this is the NASCAR playoffs. When you can have Chase Briscoe, he can go out and win a championship. And because we reward mediocrity runs all year long.
Chase Elliott ain't safe. We know this from 2 fucking years ago when Kevin Harvick got 9 wins in a season and did not make it into the Final 4 to run for a championship. So we know if you have 3 bad races in a row, you're
really just to take one. They can say one bad race with how tight this field is. One bad race. You have an engine failure early on in the race and you finish dead last. Your ass is in a must-win position right then and there. So that's the exciting part about this.
Yeah, it definitely is exciting. It definitely puts on the exciting factor, but it's so hard to crown your real champion. Like, I feel like the last real champion we saw was Martin Truex in 2017. He absolutely dominated that year.
Yep.
Most deserving guy to win that cup. But yeah, as of late, no, not really. But that's the kind of playoffs that we have to deal with now.
Entertainment, baby. That's what we're here for.
We've beat that horse. It's not even a dead horse anymore. Just the bones are all that's left now. The skin's gone. The muscle's gone. Like right
now, we're gonna those bones.
Yeah, we've beat that horse to death and then some. So, I'm intrigued to see what's gonna happen. So, the last little nugget I will leave with you folks. When we get to our race preview show for Homestead, I will respectfully not be making any picks this week. Reason being, I'm going to practice a little bit of what I preach here. And what I mean by that is without giving away any information to the public that doesn't need to be given away because it's a private matter, you two are going to know what I'm talking about. Because Ian and you had a conversation about this with me once. And for the public that doesn't know what I'm talking about, I apologize. But what I'll explain was there was a situation. And basically what I had to explain to some people was that if you really don't like something that much, if it bothers you that much, instead of continue to complain, just don't fucking watch. That's how I'm gonna approach this this Homestead race. If I feel the way I do about what happened this past week, instead of sit here and complain and bitch, and I've said my piece on the matter that happened this past weekend. I will not be watching the races this weekend, so I'm going to take the week off. It's going to be 75 degrees in the Chicagoland area for the last time. I may play a little golf or something, but I will be self-imposing a suspension with my boy Bubba and not watching the race this weekend.
Well said.
So you guys know what I'm talking about. So I don't mean that in a negative shot at anybody, but if I'm gonna tell people to do it, I better do it myself. So I'm gonna practice what I preach, and if I don't like it, don't watch. I don't like it, I ain't gonna watch.
All right.
Well said. All right. Well, I think that will about wrap it up for our show here, guys. Thanks for tuning in to Stock Car Spectacle once again. If you haven't yet, make sure to like our video and subscribe to our channel. And also, you can find us on Twitter and Instagram as well. And we're also on all podcast platforms. So that will wrap it up for us, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Ian Jortson.
I'm Mike Gamble.
And I'm Nick Kinzel.
We'll see you guys next time.